So I started with my fabric on a fold. So this is 2 yards of fabric, but I advise you work with 3 yards of fabric if you want a fuller look. So the first thing I went ahead to do was to mark my starting line. Okay, so after marking my starting line, I went ahead to take my neck width at 4 inches and I took my neck depth at 3.5 inches. Okay, so neck width 4 inches, neck depth 3.5 inches. So I went ahead to connect my markings together. So after connecting my markings together, for the side I came down by 1 inch and I did this to slant my shoulder line. Okay, so now after marking that, the next thing I went ahead to do was to draw my shoulder line. So now I'm also marking the back part on this same fabric. So I just came down by 1 inch from that my starting line, and I just carved it or curve, whatever, choose the English you want, into my neck width. Okay, so you can see what I did here. That is what you are going to do. Okay, so now after doing this, the next thing I went ahead to do, that my neck width line, I extended it upwards. Then I went ahead to add 1 cm joining allowance to my shoulder slant. Okay, if you don't want to do this part, you can skip it. It's not by force. Okay, so now the first thing I went ahead to do was to cut out the first line, the first neck width, not the shorter neck width, not the longer one. So after cutting it out, yeah, my baby woke up and he was crying, so I had to carry him and pacify him, and that is him living again. Welcome to motherhood. Okay, so now after cutting the shorter neck width, I just went ahead to readjust. I took out 1 piece. Okay, so that piece I took out is the back piece, and this piece left here now is the front piece. So you can see why I marked them together. So after securing it with a pin to make sure that everything is not moving around, I just went ahead to cut out the neck width. Okay, so now it's time to cut the pocket piece. So to cut the pocket piece, I just cut my paper and I folded it in 2. Then I went ahead to mark the pocket width at 3 inches, and I marked the depth at at 6 inches. It's been a while I filmed this tutorial, you guys should forgive me. So pocket width 3 inches, pocket length 6 inches. So I just went ahead to connect everything together. Okay, you can make yours wider, you can make yours longer, you can do whatever you want to do. So the next thing I went ahead to do was to just curve the edge of that pocket. So after curving the edge of the pocket, I just went ahead to cut it out. Okay, so now after cutting it out and opening it up, this is what we have here, ladies and gentlemen. So for the fabric I want to use for my pocket, I went ahead to put forcible interface on it and I placed the paper on it. I also went ahead to mark out sewing allowance. Okay, I went ahead to mark out sewing allowance, 1 cm sewing allowance by the side, and at the top I marked 1 inch, and I just went ahead to cut everything out. Okay, so now after cutting it, I went ahead to notch that place because I'm going to fold it from that point. I'm going to fold it at that point. Okay, so now to start sewing this dress, you can see I have my baby on my back because it's very clingy and now he has gone away. So now this is the front piece. So for the front piece, the first thing I went ahead to do was to mark where I want my pocket to be. So you choose wherever you want your pocket to be. Me, I marked mine at 21 inches. Okay, so you can mark whatever you want. Okay, so I marked mine at 21 inches, and from the middle, initially I marked 4 inches, but later I went ahead to mark 6 inches. Okay, so you are the one that will determine how wide and how long, or the position you want your pocket to be. Like I said, I marked 4 inches from the middle for both sides, but I went ahead to readjust it to 6 inches. Okay, so now I remember I told you that I'm going to fold that top part. So I went ahead to fold it and I held it down with my hemming gun. So after folding it and holding it down my hemming gun, now this is my bias. Okay, so I'm just going to use the bias to turn the sides of this pocket. So I took it over to my sewing machine and I just used the bias to turn the side of the pocket. So after turning the side of the pocket, you can see how I'm closing the end of this pocket. Okay, so now after doing this, I pushed it out and I just went ahead to top stitch. If you feel like my voice is low, it is actually low because I'm trying not to wake my child. I don't want him to wake up. If not, this voiceover is over for all of you. So now after top stitching, I gave it a good press and made sure that everything was well laid. So this is what we have here for both pieces of the pocket. So now this is my fabric. This is about around, I think, 3 inches or 4 inches of the width of this fabric. I can't even remember. So I just took it over to my sewing machine and I folded it and I joined it. After joining it, I switched to my gather's foot presser and I just went ahead to gather it. See, you guys, if I can't remember the exact measurement, please forgive me. It's been a while I made this tutorial. Okay, so after gathering this fabric, the next thing I went ahead to do, you see the way I'm placing it like this, that's how you're going to place it and you're going to top stitch. Okay, for the width of this fabric that I used for the gathers, it's not more than 4 inches. Okay, I know it's within 3 inches and 4 inches. So you see the way I placed it, I just placed it, adjusted it, and I was just top stitching. So if you don't want to gather it, you can pleat it. Okay, so after top stitching, this is what we have here, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we have here. This is what the pocket pieces look like, the pocket piece, before I speak bad English. So the next thing I went ahead to do was I went ahead to place the pocket on the place where I want it to be, and I just went ahead to secure it with my office pin. Remember I told you guys that I adjusted it to 6 inches later. You can see, just make sure that there's a good distance between both pockets. So after top stitching the pocket to the front piece, this is what we have here, ladies and gentlemen. You are going to sew. Okay, you're going to top stitch on the pocket and attach it to the front piece. So after top stitching, I grabbed the back piece, and yes, it almost fell off the table. You people should be seeing my struggles. So I used my weight, I held it down. So the next thing I went ahead to do was to join this gown on the shoulder line. Okay, so I just went ahead to join the gown on the shoulder line. I did it for the left hand side. I also went ahead to do it for the right hand side. So now this is my bias tape. So I went ahead to use the bias tape to turn over the neckline of this gown. Okay, so you can use your facing. I used bias tape, but after using bias tape, I was now regretting I would have just cut a facing. So you can use your facing, you can use bias tape, whatever works for you. I think I was being lazy here. Okay, so now after turning it over with my bias tape, you can see how neat it looks. So now this is what the gown looks like. So from my shoulder line, I came down by 10 inches. So that I came down by 10 inches, and from 10 inches I just marked 1 inch for my seam allowance to join it by the sides. Okay, so from the shoulder line coming down by 10 inches, and from 10 inches downwards you're going to join it by the sides with 1 inch sewing allowance. So which is what I did here. Okay, so I just took it over to my sewing machine and I joined the side. Okay, so now after joining the side, I did this for both sides. I also went ahead to fold the hem. Okay, so I went ahead to fold the hem, 1 inch folding allowance as well. So I just took my time to fold and sew, fold and sew. You want to make sure your stitches are straight. So this is what we have for the sleeve, for the opening for your sleeve. You know, this is a kimono sleeve. See that seam allowance that we got from the side? I'm just going to fold it and top stitch. I've shown you guys how to do it severally on this channel. Okay, so I went ahead to make 4 bands, not bands, 4 ropes. I went ahead to make 4 ropes, and I also went ahead to cut 2 inches fabric, 2 pieces of 2 inches fabric. Okay, so before I make the drawstring, I went ahead to fold the top so it doesn't fray. Then from the top, I went ahead to mark where I want my drawstring to start from. You want to make sure that it is below the pocket, not above the pocket. But if you want it above the pocket, you know, do what works for you. Potato, right? So I just went ahead to mark where I want the drawstring to start from, and I did this for both sides. And I went ahead to see, this is very simple. You're just going to place the fabric on the side like this, join the top, join the bottom. You're going to make 3 stitches, 1 by the left hand side, 1 by the right hand side, and 1 in the middle. So there are different ways to do this. So the first thing I went ahead to do now was to attach the band, that's the ropes, to these pieces, and I just went ahead to sew. Okay, if you want a detailed tutorial, there are different ways to do it, guys, so just do whatever works for you. So if you want a detailed tutorial on how to attach it, do let me know in the comment section. So this is you can see the lines I made. I kind of made a rectangle. Okay, I joined it at the top, joined it at the bottom. I made lines in the side, by the left hand side, the right hand side, and the middle, and you can see that the rope is in between. Okay, So you can see that the rope is in between. Something else you can do is you can just attach the fabric without attaching the rope, then use your safety pin to attach the rope and use hand stitches, you know, to secure it to the main piece. So I wanted to beautify this bubu. I didn't just want it to be like that, so I got some crystal beads. So I attached the crystal bead to the pocket and to the neckline. And ladies and gentlemen, this is what we have here for the bubu gown. So before I went ahead to draw the drawstring, you know, it's just a straight gown. So I was showing you what the straight gown looks like. It's giving classy, it's giving rich auntie vibes. Okay, so this is what I look like. So after this, I just went ahead to draw the drawstring, and you can see I went from mommy to Sisi Eko in 1 second. Funny enough, after making this bubu, I almost gave it out because I didn't like it. But by the time I finished doing this video, I was like, who's this girl? Who's this girl? She's a brand new person. So you guys, this is how to cut and sew this bubu gown. You can wear it long, you can wear it when you do the drawstring. If you're watching from YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like. If you're watching from Facebook, don't forget to like, don't forget to follow, don't forget to share. Bye.